Hi Leo, welcome back for your February general read. I have pulled a card in relation to your Venus house, however there is a separate read for your romance read. Also, I will be going live on Facebook on the 12th for the Valentine's Day reading, so if you do wish to join, have a look at the community tab and the information will be in the box. If you're wanting to make a booking, the link will be directly below, and for my second channel, which covers the twin flame journey by zodiac sign, the link is inside. Yes, I still do live sessions connected to astrology, as well as whatever downloads I'm getting, I do them on this channel, and then for the twin flame videos live, I do them on the other. Okay, you've got some interesting energies coming through. I mean, I pulled the main part of the read. Yeah, you're at a crossroad at the moment. January was pretty much doing that to the collective regardless, especially with the solar and the total eclipse. A lot of that information with the total eclipse, although you might want to manifest an aspect of things, and especially when we do move into the beginning of the year, it's a natural thing, although the eclipses were assisting. With the total eclipse, it was like what needs to be ended. Now, although that may have come quite heavily energetically and spiritually, doesn't mean to say necessarily we all followed suit with that. There can be 4 to 8 weeks, even 12, before that starts really dissolving out. And the interesting thing is in your read, you've actually had an assessment as to what is and what isn't working, but you're not quite sure what to do with it. Now, in the unseen frequency of what's coming through for you guys, Leo, it's something that you're going to really gain clarity of internally. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on the 3D you're seeing it, but it can be that you're feeling it. You're like, oh, I don't know quite what I'm going to do with this. I don't know how I'm going to maintain this frequency. I don't know how I'm going to maintain the status quo when it comes to keeping everything the way it is when it's really unable to be built upon. So there's an aspect of her foundation that perhaps has an inability to grow beyond the point it currently is. And again, this can come down to your surroundings or an external party's surroundings of, you know, not knowing the truth about a given situation. If you're tuning into a person and this has been a blockage and you're thinking, gosh, you know, what's going on with this person? You know, why aren't they moving towards me? It might be that you're not seeing them and they're unable to at the moment, but it's a temporary delay. But I feel for many of you, this is more a 3D situation going on in your life that you're looking at. And it comes down to worthiness, okay? You might have different values to a workplace dynamic, a family member's dynamic. Your spiritual beliefs may differ from other people's opinions. And so it's not that you need to rebuild on it, it's that you need to understand your perspectives and theirs, and then come to a resolve inside yourself to work out what you're going to do. It's something that's going to come out of left field, and I do feel it's a vibration. But it's something that's been in front of you this whole while, but you're gaining the intuition connected to it. Your traditional values are changing. I'm hearing some of you, you're feeling that you know what feels great, you know what doesn't, and it's really like, you know, you're looking at the 3D and what society says, and then you're looking at the truth of what you feel and what you should be feeling, and it just doesn't feel on par. It feels like something's out of balance. The lessons, or perhaps even in the education department, so this is for you guys who are studying, as well as any additional lessons that are coming to you from universe through this month's movement. Again, if I do have time, I will do a mid-month live. So bear with me and see how I go. For you guys, you're unable to... Until you complete a task, if you're reaching a block, and this can be within your education field or a 3D situation you're directly dealing with, it may be that you feel you're going over old ground. Now, until you actually understand the energetic lesson in it, is to complete a task, to take your power back, to follow through with this given situation. It's almost like I'm hearing a karmic end. It's like a spiritual block, or a physical 3D situation that you're directly dealing with and you're learning something out of it. And it might be your throat chakra. And again, it is in relation to, are you passionate about an area? how do I put it? Because green's coming through quite heavily in this card, okay? You're unable to switch your energy off a situation because it needs to have a decision made upon it. You need to communicate your truth in relation to this situation. I'm hearing it's not black and white. There's more to it than meets the eye. You may be looking at a direct path, and some of you, it might be you're in an education field, you're looking at the given situation, and you're saying, now that I've learned a bit more about the subject matter, it's almost like you're branching up or branching out, I'm saying. You do need to communicate with your mentors about anything that you're having problems with or triggered about. There's a few messages coming through. I feel you're unsure about whether to commit to a direct situation as well. It might be that something has really gained your eye and you're wanting to invest in it, but you need to communicate your truth in relation to this. Now, this can be externally to, you know, the education department, or it can be physically just in your personal life as well as connected to education. But I feel there's an aspect of communication necessary. You need to follow it through and it will bode well. Some of you are making a presentation in some shape or form. And again, it's quite arduous in a sense that you're having to really get down to the grit, get things done in order to present this situation or this thing that you're actually presenting. In your financial sector, it might be that at the moment you need to communicate with someone who has experience in the financial domain, or that if you're considering applying to a position, I'm feeling for some of you, you might have worked there previously. If you communicate directly with previous managers, I do feel it's going to benefit you. And again, it might be hurdles connected to your financial domain and really communicating your truth connected to your partner, connected to other people involved. It can be contracts, it can be lease agreements. There's a lot of communication going on, especially with your lesson this month. It's like you do have the power, but you need to communicate directly. This can be with even financial institutions. You're looking at the way the finance is going, okay? So it's what goes out, comes in, but as quick as it's coming in, it's going out. Yes, from December and January, that's quite normal, but you can be quite triggered last month, especially with the eclipse season coming through. You're actually looking at your foundation and saying, I need something different. I need to really have a really hard look at this and balance everything out to a point where you're going up, you're not going down all the time. And at the moment, you're feeling that it's really fluctuating and it's frustrating you. It's not giving you the grounding that you spiritually need. So you're actually really wanting to have a hard look at it to change that situation. I'm also seeing check your bank balances, because there can be things missing or double payments taking out. Some of you directly are applying for a secondary position, like 2 positions, or you're doing 3 things at once. It might also be that you're overqualified but you're underpaid, and you might be addressing that in communication point with your manager. Some of you also are taking a leap of faith into a new position, but because you're super passionate about it, you're willing to make the time. It can be commission-based, but it's quite exciting for some of you. You're actually quite excited about it. In your health and vibrational field, you have heart chakra. It can be that you're really tuning into other people's energy. Some of you can be very susceptible to their vibration at the moment. I'm not getting a bad vibe. It can be checkups connected to this, but I'm feeling a separate energy of really investing in what makes you feel passionate. And if you're doing that, you're going to be balanced. If you can have compassion directly connected to other people around you that are triggering you, and you're coming from the heart, it's going to help ground you to a point where you feel more balanced. Some people are wanting what they want, and that's it. And if they're not considering your vibrational feelings within this domain, I do feel there can be an energy where your vibration can be knocked out and really out of balance. And that can be because they're being selfish, or non-understanding or non-compassionate, but it's not a personal thing. I think it's a misunderstanding and communication breakdown. So providing you communicate and you stand your ground, it doesn't have to be an aggressive situation. It just needs to be mindful of what your personal needs are, and not to have this constant imbalance when it comes to giving your power away. Other people at the moment, there may be a lack of give and take. So again, that can really be triggering you, especially with your vibrational field. And it's asking you to follow your heart and not be concerned about others' opinions, not to be concerned if people are judging you in relation to a love interest or a path you're choosing to go down. You are mending your heart at the moment, and there are some people that have really offended you or hurt you in the past. This can be a love interest, but I'm feeling it is a group. Within the group, providing you're not getting triggered in a rebellious sense and you're walking in your truth, it will be fine. But you try to see it from their point of view, but you still must choose what is in the highest good for you alone. I'm also seeing some of you entering into a health kick. And it might be some of you working for a charity or going to a charity event in relation to, you know, the heart. Like a fundraiser. Like Walk for Cancer or, you know, Healthy Heart, Healthy, something to that degree. It feels like a fundraiser. It might have been someone that actually had an ailment in the family, and some of you may actually be checking up at the doctors and checking different bits and pieces where you have similar ailments. But I am seeing almost like a new sport or a new hobby coming through. Your family, that could be movement. So it might be that you're looking at the bigger picture with your family and you're saying, okay, where do we wish to live? And I feel this is more accommodation related. It may be the way in which you deal with each other, you're really addressing. You're seeing the change and the evolution within the family. But I feel it's from an external point of view, you're looking at it to look at the projection forward and how it's going to go in bode. Your family is very tight, regardless if there's conflict or anything to that degree. And look, family doesn't have to be DNA. Family can be your tribe. And, you know, when I see family, it can be tribe or it can be family members, kin. And I feel whoever this group is, there can be 7 direct individuals. I do feel by June, July, it's really going to balance out, and a lot of you within the group, the tribe or the family are going to be very different individuals. You may need to persevere and make time for one another, but really get to the root of the situation so that you can build those bridges, so that you can balance it out. If you feel it's not on your side of the fence, this can be their energy. There may be in an aspect of travel that you really need to confront something. So some of you may be traveling in relation to a situation that needs to be resolved. Some of you, this could directly be a passing over of a person. And I feel it's past tense. I don't feel it's current tense. I feel it's more an old energy and returning to a location where you were born, where you were growing up, or a previous connection in some shape or form, and returning to a location to address and finalize situations. Again, this energy, especially with the total eclipse, it can be easy 4 to 12 weeks after the fact, and definitely easy 2 weeks after the fact. More information and finalizations come through. Some of you are lacking in trust connected to movement within a road you're choosing, and you're having to confront the truth of the matter. So this can be within work, within a relationship. It's a dynamic very specific to you, and you're very concerned about the longevity of it. You know, it's reached a 9, but you don't want to jump in the deep end any further than you are if you feel it's imbalanced and it's not in alignment with your truth. The left or right that you're coming up against is you might not feel that love is as balanced. And again, this can directly just be passion. It doesn't have to be. Again, do look at your Venus house, but I do have a Venus card here. But look at your romance read separately to really tune into it. And again, as I said, I am going to be doing a Valentine's Day special on Facebook. It feels as though there's an imbalance. Now, this can particularly be a past tense frequency you're tuning into. and you're not quite knowing what way to go. In the left or right scenario, it may be that you didn't feel one road felt like love, or it might be at the moment you're looking at two paths and you're looking at both of them, which takes me to my higher calling. And not necessarily does the higher calling mean an easy road. Sometimes it can be adversity and then a smooth sailing growth road. You know, you're really in your head about this and you're really trying to meditate, but I do find that you're going to feel you'll have the solution to the situation, but I think you need to go into a meditated state or retreat from the environment to gain clarity. But you're holding your cards really close to your chest. Now, your Venus house, there can be a lot of love around you. Now, again, it doesn't have to just be connected to romance. It can be, you know, the heart of the matter I'm hearing. Get to the heart of the matter. Know what you're wanting. Know what makes you passionate and loving and feel grounded. If something doesn't feel in alignment, it's really going to be screaming at you and telling you. And especially with the Sanctuary card coming up and the fact that, you know, in your left or right situation, simply love is in reverse. And you're in your third eye in relation to this. And then you've got Venus house, love abound. So it's you know what it does look like. You know what it does feel like. You've really got to ask yourself the question, where am I placing my energy into my personal life in a balanced format, that I'm getting the very best out of the situation? And I know every effort I put in, there is an aspect of something that is coming out and the give and take is in balance. Regardless of that, you know, being in your truth, it feels there is, some of you feel there's only one, especially with one coming up on the card. You might see someone who you feel is your one, and this could be someone you haven't seen for a while as well. There might have been a separation with this love interest, and it might be leaving one path and returning to another. Yeah, you're really looking at what's going to last the distance. Some of you are scared due to a past tense retreat or breakup, and you're wondering whether, regardless of what happened in the past, whether there is a possibility to rejig it. I feel you've got to go from each day of where you stand in the present. Try not to make all your decisions based on what happened in the past. If you do need to discuss it with a person, you need to really think about where you are personally and what you feel for you, not what paradigms are and what traditions are and what the, you know, what fear-based frequencies are, just what the truth is. I mean, because the truth is very separate. If you're coming from a place that you're saying, okay, on this path, yes, there's finances, there's stability, there's communication, but on this path, there's not that I love the person. I mean, it's really going to come down to you what you feel is in alignment with who you are. So check in with that. If you are having difficulties, come through to the live sessions. Otherwise, you can go to the link directly below and book a reading. Love and light.